Yo guys, sup?
Red, where have you been, man? You almost gave me a goddamn heart attack. Here, let me see it. Did you pussy out or what?
No, man, I got it, and it is flawless. Check it.
Why? Alright, that's good. That's hard to trace, I guess. Wait, you changed your name to McLovin?
Yeah.
Are you trying to be an Irish R&B singer?
No, they let you pick out any name you want when you get there, and
And you landed on McLovin.
I mean, yeah, it was either that or Muhammad.
Why the fuck would it be between that or Muhammad? Why don't you just pick a common name like a normal person?
Muhammad's most common used name on Earth. Read a fucking book for once.
Right, have you ever actually met anyone named Muhammad?
Have you ever actually met someone named McLovin?
No, that's why you picked a dumb fucking name.
Fuck you.
Give me that. All right, you look like a future pedophile in this picture, number one. Number two, it doesn't even have a first name. It just says McLovin.
One name? Who are you, Seal?
Red, this ID says that you're 25 years old. Why wouldn't you just put 21, man?
Every day, hundreds of kids go into liquor stores with fake IDs, and every single one says they're 21. How many 21-year-olds do you think are in this town? It's called fucking strategy, alright?
Welcome back to another episode of It's Always Sunny in Hollywood. Today we are talking about Superbad. My name is Lugia, and with me are...
My name is Patty.
And I am McLovin.
No, you're
I'm,
fucking
I'm
not.
Red. No, I'm Red. You want to talk about the news?
Let's just jump into that real quick.
All right. They finally announced the second Simpsons movie. It's coming out in 2027, which is exactly 20 years after the first movie. I'm pretty sure the show has made a joke about that being a thing they were gonna do. So
I don't think I've ever seen the original Simpsons film, like ever.
Really?
Maybe snippets here and there, but no. I'm actually
That's
not like a
crazy.
huge Simpsons fan. I've barely watched the show growing up.
Oh well.
Huh.
I'd say the first 8 seasons of the show are like probably one of my favorite shows ever made. Honestly, I don't even think it got like really bad until it went HD. Like I still think it's watchable for like a few seasons after. Honestly, I'd probably say the movie is like the last thing. Like if you watch it up till the movie, like there's nothing like worth watching after the movie, pretty much.
Why does this sound like SpongeBob all over again? First three
No way.
seasons are considered peak, then the movie comes out, and then afterwards people don't like the show anymore.
I'd say like maybe one season after the movie for both SpongeBob and The Simpsons, like you can still watch. But after that, it's just nah. After the second movie, they think SpongeBob kind of got a second wind a bit, so who knows? Maybe The Simpsons will suddenly be good again. I've heard some people say the recent seasons are good. They are lying, but I've heard some people say it. I watched some recent episodes. It has not gotten better. They've gotten more experimental. That doesn't mean they've gotten better though. Like it's not a funny show. It just feels like they're trying again, but still not funny. So I don't know. Like okay.
It's copium.
It's like I don't know when you see someone in a coma and then they start twitching a little bit, like you get hope that he's finally coming out of it. But no, he's still in the coma. There's like some slight brain functions, like maybe he's dreaming again. I don't know.
I do remember when the first Simpsons movie came out because my parents debated whether or not they wanted me to see it. We didn't. I saw it on DVD for the first time.
I remember a bunch of clips getting shared around. I remember the Spider Pig clip being a big one, and that one gag where Bart is skateboarding naked, and everyone shared that gag around, uh, because it had nudity.
Yeah, that's the reason my parents didn't want me to see it in the theater.
I guess the Simpsons wanted to go a little bit edgy for their first flick. Was it rated R? I can't remember.
No, it was PG-13.
All right. I wrote something else, right? For news, what was the second one? Oh, Jane Goodall died. Jesus. You guys are familiar with Jane Goodall, right?
I'm aware of like the basics of what she does, but like I couldn't write a paper.
She was a big researcher in regards to like studying chimpanzees, primates, and whatnot. I remember like there was a bunch of like articles in National Geographic, and like she was like one of those figures like Steve Irwin, where I just remember like just hearing a lot about because for some reason in the 90s and 2000s, people really cared about nature, and then they stopped caring for some reason. But yeah, rest in peace, Jane Goodall. She passed away at 91. I want to talk about Superbad now.
Okay, so Superbad was directed by Greg Mottola and written by Evan Goldberg and Seth Rogan. It was released on August 17th, 2007, with a budget of about $20 million, and it made just over $170 million. Superbad in of itself, I don't know if you would classify this as like an autobiography because it's based on Evan and Seth's experiences as teenagers. So they put in a lot of their own personal experiences in this film itself, and they also just wrote the script down because they just wanted to see if they could make a movie, and well, here we are now. It took about 7 years to complete, and they used films like Dazed and Confused, Fast Times at Ridgemont High, and American Graffiti as inspiration for the kind of style they wanted to go for. Some of the characters present in the film, like Fogel and Steven Glansberg, were actually real friends that Seth and Evan had during their teenage years. I don't know if you call this an autobiography. Would you?
No, I don't know what the correct word for. Like,
It's definitely not, but
it's drawing from real life experiences. That's
yeah.
what it is.
Okay. So the film was primarily shot in California. Some of the locations to note were Glendale had the liquor store, and Culver City had the Fox Hills Mall, which is where the end of the film takes place. And a couple fun facts. When Fogel tells the officers to drop him off at 13th and Granville, this is a reference to the location of a sushi restaurant that Evan and Seth loved a lot as kids. Christopher Mintz-Plasse, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, who plays Fogel in the film, was 17 years old at the time of filming. So when he had to go do those liquor store scenes, he needed his mother present on set at all times. And finally, out of all things, this is Eminem's favorite film, like, ever. And he's
Really?
actually referenced it in a couple of his songs, Brainless and Ballin' Uncontrollably. That's a fucking name and a half. So what is Superbad about? Well, I'll keep it brief. So two teenagers, Seth and Evan, not to be confused with the writers themselves, but rather Seth being played by Jonah Hill and Evan being played by Michael Cera, who I believe this is his film debut.
I
Michael
don't think
Cera?
that's accurate, but
Well, he was in Arrested Development before, but I think in terms of like film, this was his first one.
no, I think in terms of film, like he was like in movies as like a little kid. Yeah, he was in Confessions of a Dangerous Mind. He was in Frequency. This is probably like his first leading role though, yeah.
Yeah,
So
I
I
think the
guess
same goes for Jonah Hill as well.
unless Juno came out first, because they came out the same year, but I don't remember the exact dates.
I wouldn't say he was like a leading role in Juno.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, then yeah, Superbad's his first major role, and also it did come out before Juno, so even if so, it doesn't matter.
All right, but back to the plot synopsis. So Seth and Evan are two teenagers graduating from high school, and before they go off to college, where they will both go to different schools, they want pussy. So they are going to go to a party by Jonah's wannabe girlfriend, Jules, and they're gonna get her alcohol for the party so that way they could like have all the sex possible. But things go awry because one, they're underaged, and two, a lot of other crazy shit happens, especially with Fogel, one of their quote unquote friends, who has a fake ID.
Kind of funny. See, what the funny part about like Superbad is like half of it is kind of like a very, it's sort of like kind of a traditional sex comedy because it's always about, oh, you know, these two guys have to get alcohol and hijinks ensue. But Fogel's plot just goes in like the most bizarre fucking direction.
You never know what happens. It's so funny.
Fogel's thing is very clearly drawing inspiration from this arc in American Graffiti. So like in American Graffiti, there's also a nerdy guy who goes to a thing, and like when he goes there, it gets robbed. But like after that robbery thing, like American Graffiti goes into a different direction. Here though, Fogel decides to start. The cops decide to like take Fogel under their wing, and then the rest of Fogel's like story is just hanging out with these two grown men that are cops that are just like really shitty cops. They're just, and we just follow them the whole movie, and they just kind of you just like keep cutting to this random like side arc where Fogel's kind of doing whatever. Like he has like no goals. They're just hanging out. That's it. You know, the other two, like they have like a very concerted goal. We need to get alcohol. We need to get to the party, and
We need to get laid.
Easier said than done.
But yeah, that's pretty much the general synopsis. So what did we think of Superbad?
Hilarious, especially the Fogel parts. But honestly, I kind of like the whole movie. Very funny.
Red, you've said in the past you're not a fan of Seth Rogen, but you say this is his best movie. Is that correct?
Oh yeah, no, I love this movie. I'm not a big fan of Seth Rogen. The only other Seth Rogen movie I like is Observe and Report, and that I don't even think is funny. I just think like that's actually like pretty well written, like on like a intellectual level. But yeah, I'm not a Seth Rogen guy. I don't like hate him, I guess, because like I thought he was fine in his like TV shows. Like I liked Freaks and Geeks. I liked like I don't know, like even those he's just like an actor and some other like in terms of things that he's actually like had creative control over. It's only been Superbad that I like. You know, Zack and Miri make a porno. That's fine, but that's a Kevin Smith movie. That's not like a Seth Rogen film. So and even like as an actor, like I'm not like too hot on him. He wrote a funny movie. This was a funny movie, and it's all right.
He
We've
actually
talked
was
about
gonna play Seth, like the character, but he settled on being the cop instead because like, he's a grown ass man. It just wouldn't work.
he was too old looking at the point because he wrote the screenplay when he was in high school,
Yeah.
which was like in the 90s. So this took like a long time to get made. We've talked about like his other like some other movies he's written before, and like let's be honest, Green Hornet is like a significantly worse movie than this, right? Like
I
we can
agree.
admit that. I don't imagine I'm gonna like This Is the End. Like This Is the End, I don't remember liking that much. The Interview, I don't remember liking that much. Pineapple Express, like these are the movies he's written. Sausage Party was fucking awful. I hated Sausage Party. I heard the first Neighbors was good, but he didn't write that one. He wrote the second one, which I do not hear good things about. He wrote the new Ninja Turtles movie? Okay, that one was okay. But yeah, like I even like that one I thought was okay. It's like I still think it's like that's like a 6 out of 10. When like Superbad, like I'd honestly give it like a 9 or something. Like I actually like it.
For
But
context, this is another film that we saw together as a group, kind of like Jack and Jill, but the difference being like it's a comedy. It probably would be better to laugh at it with friends or laugh with it in this case.
I think comedies are better when you watch it as a group, like than
Yeah.
when you watch alone,
Yeah.
including sitcoms. But you know, obviously sitcoms I'm fine watching by myself. But are you guys familiar
What
with
about
the director?
Greg
uh
Matola? No, I don't believe so.
the name sounds familiar, but I can't think off the top of my head what else he's done.
I've seen a few of his other movies. I mostly know him for his TV work though, because he directed a bunch of episodes of the TV show Undeclared, which starred Seth Rogen, and he directed a bunch of episodes of Arrested Development, which starred Michael Cera. So, gee, I wonder how
What the
this movie
fuck
got
is
made.
Paul?
You haven't seen Paul?
What the
Oh,
hell?
Paul is the original Ted, man. It's crazy. You know Edgar Wright?
Yeah.
So it's not an Edgar Wright movie, but it's written by Simon Pegg and Nick Frost, who wrote the Cornetto trilogy. So in a way, this is like low key like an Edgar Wright movie, but like what if Edgar Wright was a Seth Rogen stoner comedy? Like imagine the Cornetto trilogy, but it's not directed by Edgar Wright. In fact, instead it's like a Seth Rogen thing, because Seth Rogen stars in it, and it's directed by one of Seth Rogen's like friends. So yeah, I don't know. It's
Okay.
very interesting.
attend the tale of
It's a
Paul, Lugia.
I think it's very comparable to Ted because it's a stoner comedy about like some weird CGI dude that's just kind of hanging around two guys. Seth Rogen plays an alien, and the alien gets introduced to the wonderful world of marijuana. I don't know. It's a dumb movie. We should talk about it though. Actually, honestly, Adventureland is kind of interesting because that movie is actually meant to be kind of more of a serious drama, and it's okay. I thought it was decent. It wasn't like amazing or anything, but you know, it has its cult following.
Lugia, this was your choice. What did you think?
So I did not see this before watching it for the podcast. I was aware of it, and it's a movie that I've wanted to watch for some time now, and it only resurfaced in my mind because in some way McLovin was just brought up out of nowhere. I'm like, oh yeah, that isn't that Superbad? I should watch that. So here we are now, and yeah, I really like this one a lot. Granted, it can be very crude with its humor, like if you're not into like sexual innuendos or what have you, like this movie is going to be a turnoff for you. But at the same time, though, I still thought it was fucking funny at the end of the day.
I mean, even some of the sex jokes are like they're pretty fucking
Like they're
funny.
well,
Yeah,
yeah, they're
but
well executed. Like the whole backstory with
Like I'm gonna be
with
honest, like
Seth and
at the end of the movie, like they actually are like you know about to get laid, and you would think it would be like uncomfortable, and it is, but it's like it's uncomfortable in a kind of funny way, like, and it's mostly has to do with like the actor's delivery, but like it's so funny, like seeing like this girl just being completely wasted, and like fucking Evan just fumbling around awkwardly trying to make it work. Part of the comedy is just that like if they actually like didn't get drunk, it would actually be like way smoother for them. That's kind of like a joke, like where you tee it up and like, oh, we're losers. You know, we could only get with these girls if you know there's alcohol, and then like you know, kind of cosmic punchline is that no, the alcohol is actually like the kind of like held them back. But I don't know, it's just it's pretty. There's some funny stuff. Like I still think of like the not the sex scene, but like the kind of sex scene with Evan and Becca, and like she's like, oh, I'm so wet. And he's like, "Oh yeah, we learned about that in health class." Like that's such a funny like the way he says it is so funny too. It's like,
You have such a smooth cock. You would too if you were a man.
yeah, like it's all in the delivery because it's just like a bunch of like awkward fumbly and like even like fucking Fogel's like, I have a boner. Like it's like what the hell, man? It's so awkward, but it's like a very like it's a funny type of awkward comedy. Also, Greg Matola is actually a better director than I thought because Adventureland, Day Trippers, Confess Fletch, those are actually decent movies. Day Trippers is actually a pretty well liked indie film, so honestly, this was like a better directed movie than you think. You guys like notice how kind of 70s it felt?
Yeah, especially in the soundtrack.
Yeah.
Like very like 70s funk. They were kind of dressed up in kind of 70s thing. Even the credits had like a 70s flavor to it. Just interesting because it was written by guys who grew up in the 90s. Even like American Graffiti, like I guess this was trying to like tie to like Dazed and Confused and American Graffiti, I guess. I mean, American Graffiti took place in the 50s, but it was made in the 70s. So in my head, for some reason, I remember there being more to the plot, but honestly, it is just like them. It's you set up them at school, then they go to the bar, then they some weird guy takes them to a party, and then kind of the rest of the movie is just them at this adult party fumbling around and then like Fogel fumbling around with these cops, and then they meet up together and they go to the actual party. Like for some reason, I remember in my head they went to several parties trying to get beer, but like no, they actually just went to one. I'm like, oh okay.
You guys have a favorite bit?
Outside of McLovin, I liked when the guy ran into Seth with his car. It's like, dude, I'm so
I
sorry.
like
Please, I'll make it up to you somehow. And Seth's like, what the fuck are you talking about? You just ran me over. How about you give us money or give us beer, or we're gonna report your ass.
I like the running gag of Seth getting hit by a car because he got hit by a car 3 times in the movie.
I counted 2.
He got hit by the cops. He got hit by that dude, and then there was a third time he got hit. I'm trying to remember.
I don't remember a third time. I just remember those two. But while you're thinking of that, one bit that is like so small and brief, but it's stuck with me is it's between the two cops.
That is just too
At
much.
one point, for some reason, they start doing a Yoda impression, and they look back at McLovin and said, "You know Yoda from Attack of the Clones."
I mean, they're not technically wrong.
They're
but
not wrong, but like,
why narrow
that's-
it down to the
why
second
specifically
prequel?
Attack of the Clones?
That's like the one movie that like no one would ever think of. You can tell that line was like improvised too, just because like of the delivery. I don't know. The dick drawings are in the credits are pretty funny, and also earlier. But yeah, I'd say it's mostly McLovin. I thought some of the stuff at the party was kind of funny. Where like all the guys are high as shit, and Evan is just kind of scared shitless, and he just starts singing to like, and they make him
And it's
sing.
the running joke of apparently Evan looks like the brother of some guy named Jimmy, and we never see Jimmy the entire movie. It's just going off of that one joke. It's like, hey, you know Jimmy, you look like his brother.
That fucking like the weird dude that they that hit him with the car. Like I think he's kind of an underrated character, honestly, because like he plays it just so slightly off. There's something wrong with him, but you're just not really sure what.
Well, he said he has a warrant for a non-violent crime.
He reminds me of like a wannabe hustler, like a guy who he's like a mooch. That's kind of what it feels like. I was like, oh bro, I swear, bro. I kind of like when the cops hit Seth. It gets like a kind of dark. Like there's a slight tone change. Like that part just kind of like it kind of cracked me up because like you see this like reckless cops being irresponsible, but then like when they hit the car and you see that they're getting ready to like kind of like you're trying to see the narrative they're planning. You're like, oh wow, like it does make you think like, oh wow, these people are like kind of horrible. Like it's kind of like you're just kind of fun with the ride, but like yeah, that scene I kind of like just because like it makes you like register like, oh wow, this is like just be
Real
very
life, we gotta
bad.
do our fucking job.
No, I mean they're not doing their job. They're just corrupt cop.
I
Like
know, but things got serious for them. Like they could be facing consequences. Their car is kind of like their windshield is broken now, and like the hood of the car is
well, yeah,
dented.
but I think they were mainly concerned that like the kid that was that they hit was gonna like report them. So they were trying to like scare the kids. They're trying to have like McLovin like forge a thing. There's this one bit with the cops that was pretty funny. Oh, it's that every time the police scanner went off, the person who was like telling the crimes is like, oh, there's a crime in this area. They always specifically said Squad Car 93. That means you, and that was them. And they're like, yeah, we fucking got it. Like, all right, we'll go.
And eventually they say,
No,
fuck
they
this
did.
job.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the comedy is like in the performances and just kind of like little lines and stuff. It reminds me of the In-Betweeners. If you guys have ever seen that show, like if you like Superbad, I definitely recommend the TV shows, The In-Betweeners and American Vandals, because I feel like those are the two kind of things I feel like captures its comedy the best. Yeah, most of the funny stuff is just with like It's just with like the two guys in an awkward situation, or it's just McLovin and the cops. Them faking fucking a perp walk for McLovin, so he has street cred. It's kind of funny. Part of what made like the party scene so funny to me was like it was just in the performances, but like what I like is like you can in the performances you can see sort of like an arc. McLovin's character I think is interesting because like he's like oddly overconfident, but he's also like you can tell there's like an awkwardness in him, and like you can in the alcohol scene where like he's so awkward, but like you can tell that after he spends times with the cops, he just like he gains confidence. So like at the party, you see him like walking around like he has swag. It's like it's so funny to me.
I mean,
And
he
like it
got
kind of
punched in the
works.
face by a convenience store robber. He got tackled by like an old man who they were trying to get after. Like he's been through some shit that night.
Yeah, and he's just won't let him joyride and let him hold a gun and whatnot. But yeah, I mostly say that like I think the funniest parts is the everything to do with like them trying to buy the alcohol.
Another bit that I really liked was when Seth is in the store and he's thinking through all the scenarios, like the unlikely scenarios of him getting alcohol.
I thought that bit was fine, but I'll be honest, that's definitely like one of the bits I just kind of completely forget about every time I watch the movie. Like honestly, I completely forgot about that bit until you said it right now. I was like, oh yeah, that did happen. We saw the extended cut, by the way. So part of me is wondering if that's like even in the theatrical cut of the movie because I straight up do not remember it, but it might be. Oh, Riley, fun fact for people who like this movie: there's clips of the table read. The table read is very funny. Like you can see like some of it is honestly a little funnier, just like some of the deliveries of the table read. Again, like this is very like performance heavy movie, so like part of me like I know they would never do this, but I don't know. I feel like some comedy movies would like benefit from being like a play, where like you see how different actors kind of approach the material, and I feel like this would be like like I don't think they would ever make a play that's like this. Or they would never adapt Superbad into a play. But like part of me wishes that Superbad was adapted to a play, just because I want to see every night. It's probably gonna be like a slightly different or slightly funnier, just depending on how the actor plays it. Like the weird part is like even the parts I don't think are like that funny, I think are like they're good. Like a lot of the stuff with school early on, like I don't think that's super funny, but like it's all pretty like important, like on a story level. It's like, so you still watch and you're like, oh, this, it's decent. It's mostly just trying to get over character work and then they have like a handful of jokes. Like, I thought that scene where like Seth is talking to the teacher and be like, yo, giving the speech. I feel like that's kind of Seth's like sort of thing where like Seth's character is kind of like he talks a lot to just sort of like
He's also got an ego.
I'm not sure about that, but like I mean yeah, like he's got an ego. But, like I feel like his character is kind of like he just tries to like talk his way out of stuff. He's like it's all just like he just talks and talks and talks and hope that like he can kind of like spin his way into stuff. He's also like way too blunt. That's like a running gag. Every time he talks to Jules, he gets like so much more blunt than he probably should. Like he'll be like flirting with her and have chemistry and then be like, oh, we scratch your back, you scratch our back, we'll scratch back yours. It's like my back is located on my cock. And it's so awkward, but like it's kind of funny. In my head, I remember this movie being a lot more aimless, but like when you watch it, you see that they set up like so many like little details that like they pay off at the end. So it's actually a pretty tight script, all things considered, which makes sense because it took like what a decade to write. So
Almost, yeah. Yeah, I recommend all around. Thumbs up.
Yeah, pretty good time.
Yeah, definitely watch this with friends though. I think you'll get the most mileage out of it. All right, Patty, it's your turn.
That it is. Okay, so I've been thinking. It has been a while since we last discussed a fully stop motion film. And it is October, and no shortage of stop motion horror. But you know me, I don't like to be predictable, so I'm going to throw you guys a bit of a curveball. This is an odd one. I've never seen it, and I only just recently learned of its existence. But apparently, the company behind Rudolph and Frosty, Rankin Bass, they made a stop motion horror film in the 60s, and I kind of want to check that out for giggles. So, up next is the 1967 film Mad Monster Party.
I don't
okay.
recognize this one.
This just randomly showed up in my algorithm, and I'm like, this looks familiar. Oh, it's Rankin Bass. I didn't know, like, I think everybody knows Rankin Bass for, like, their Christmas stuff. I didn't know they dipped their toes in Halloween.
Sure, sounds good. Mad Monster Party, 1967. Director Jules Bass.
Very least, this will, get us in the Halloween mood. I hope.
All right. Well, that is it for this episode of It's Always Sunny in Hollywood. Thank you for watching or listening, or however you view this podcast. And until next time, don't ask what this bottle of detergent is for. It's better if you don't know.